like to, you know, do a little bit of work on NPCs, and I'm going to call it 5.1. I don't know if it accepts those in the symbols. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going games 5.1 third person, and I go because I like it. I like ray tracing. It does give you a little bit better lighting and better angle on people, and I don't mind waiting a couple of minutes to sort of get everything going. Understanding NPCs is everybody is the same. Basically, once you are made a third-person character, it's assigning the abilities of a third-person character to the person. So whether they are from Daz, whether they're from Iclone, whether they're from Unreal Engine, it doesn't matter. You basically have to get the person to have the identity of a third-person character, and then you put a little description, a couple of nodes in the back end of its blueprint that tell it to have basic autonomous commands so that it will walk around a certain area. Now, we don't, we're going to come from Daz and create an NPC. So one of the first things I need, obviously, with actually I love restart, because if you I always have restart, because if you bring someone into the game and you don't like them, they didn't work, it's just, you know, like, because the difference with Daz into Unreal is if you want to import your characters, and this is, for example, a character I'm going to import in, Jodie Holmes, okay? So if you want to import Jodie Holmes into Daz as a third-person character, you have to hit these settings, which now automatically change the properties in your up in your project settings, and they change and add. They change the inputs. They change the fitting and the root direction. So, if you want to bring in people, for example, Genesis 9 people, into Daz, from Daz into Unreal Engine, and you want to use the Daz people, you want to use the Daz motions, and have them. So basically, you're animating a person in Daz, and then you know, once you've animated the person in Daz, you send it over into Unreal Engine, and you know, all the morphs, all the different things, like breast bouncing and different things that normal Iclone and things can't do. You have to unclick the settings. So in other words, I'm going to reboot, okay? So with this, obviously I'm going to do Daz to Unreal NPCs, so I have to restart. Okay, so it's reset for Daz now, but we have to go, if I wanted to install Jodie Holmes as a third-person player, now in my project settings, down in the Daz to Unreal settings, Daz to Unreal, these two have been added automatically. They used to be something you had to add manually. If I want to bring Jodie Holmes in from Daz and make her do animations from Daz, unclick these two and restart. Unclick these two, and then she'll come in naturally. You can bring in G9s and G8s and G3s and G2s, all their own animation, all their own morphs, and they will completely work independent of Unreal Engine. If you want the person to have NPC abilities, then you have to leave those two clicked, and now we are ready for bringing in any character we want. So I'm going to go, I've got her clicked. Oh, actually, I'm going to grab all the, you've got to make sure that everything is grabbed under the main person. So I've got that one ticked there, and then I'm going to go File. I'm not going to bother with any more. She's going to be an MP3, so she doesn't need to do anything. If anything, you change the smile maybe. Alright, so Daz to Unreal, and this comes up here. That's her name. She is what she is. Don't need any morphs. Select 5 and hit the go. This comes up. Accept. Now there's nothing added with it, so it won't take too long. But the other thing is, this is a DAZ wrap, and it's always a bit of a dodge if the DAZ wrap will work actually as a genuine G8, which is what they normally standard are. Okay. Okay, so that's done. We've got her in. I always sort of have a look to see if the hair needs to be affected, but like I said, it's a DAZ wrap, so they're different. Oh, she's kind of got no hair. Oh, it just is what she is, I suppose, yeah. Contents. Characters, mannequins, animations, many, right click, retarget, duplicate. Then it's an 8, so we're choosing the 8 one. Zero fix that one. There's Manny. This one we will tell to LN page. I always put a little D so I know that it's a DAZ figure. And then I like to change it to the actual folder of the person so that everything stays a bit neater, and then I can hit retarget. By those motions, everything's worked. Now it's a matter of going to your third person. And in the blueprints, what we're going to do is right click and duplicate and call it NPC1. Now we can duplicate that and have 10. It doesn't matter, right? But in this back end, right, so we've gone into a third person character. It's all about adding a particular script. So we add a variable, and you know, we could call it walking because they're walking around, right? So walking is a variable that is either happening or not happening. And that's what a variable is, something that can happen or not happen. So then we will right click and just add an event tick, and that is be an event that is going to happen once you play. So we put a little delay in, which if you hold down D and press your left mouse, it automatically appears. Alright, so we connect those two. It has its reasons, right? Now, the variable, we grab our variable and we bring it up, and we're going to set the variable. So we put it there, and we want them walking, so we connect there to there. Now, they are artificial intelligence, so we go AI move to, and we grab that one here. This one here determines who's going to move and what's going to move. So from the pawn, we come out, and the pawn itself, the character itself, is going to move. So we just write self, which is get reference to self. Going back to this one here, if we want to grab the walking again and just bring it to here and grab the get walking, we come out of here, and what this is going to do is a little delay that says, are you walking, are you not walking? So from out of here, we're going to grab a not boolean and connect it up to basically there. So it kind of waits about 0.2 seconds before it realizes you're not walking, and then it will go into this action here. So, and then it realizes the self needs to walk, and what we do is so where is it going to walk? Well, it has to get a random reachable point in its radius, right? A random, so you think about it, it's going to go to a random place in a reachable amount of the area that it's in. What's that area? You make that area. So say we put 10,000, right? Whatever inches or whatever that is in UE world. And where's it going to take the radius from? It's going to come out of here and get its own actor. What did I do there? Sorry. Out of origin, it's going to get its own actor location. Right. So from where it is, it's then going to move within that radius. to somewhere. How often, actually, no, I did this wrong actually. What I'm going to do is come out of there and go a random float in range, sorry, because that's what I meant. That duration of its delay is connected to this, where we put in a number. We can put in from 2 to 5 seconds. So I was thinking of another thing that I was working on. So that's the basic construction. And the only other thing we put is we grab one of these, we copy and paste, and we untick it. And we put that on either success or failure, and that's going to create a loop so that it just keeps happening again and again and again. All right, now I like to highlight all that, press C to put a comment, NPC. So that's can be copied and pasted to every single character there is now. And being that this person here, right, so this is the NPC that I made, is now going to go down to here. Now, if we were to look at this map here, we go to a nav mesh, right? Where's meshes, right? Geometry, right? No, sorry, meshes, right? And nav mesh bounds, right? We drop it in, and that will determine the size of everything, the area that they can walk around. So completely okay, so that's pretty well the whole map covered. Go up high as well. So that also makes it go down low. So that's completely covered the map. Now if you hit the letter P, it'll bring up what distance you want to cover. Okay, and that pretty well has every single thing covered, so it lets you know the person can walk nearly anywhere. It's missing little bits like this. There is ways in your edit, in your project settings, down in your platform plugins, mesh settings. I think if I type in mesh, and there is a way to get actually to all your mesh settings and make them a lot more. Here we go. Right, your nav mesh settings down in here. HDR layer. You can actually go, if you want to make it tighter, all around this bit here. This controls your tile size, cell size, and these are quite large, but if you want to minimize this area where the person cannot walk, then you start to affect the agent radius, right? So if we brought that down to say 20, and we bring that down to 50, right, it will refresh the map. That didn't do anything. If I bring that down to 10, right, and the squares will get smaller. The tile size, if I brought that down to 500, right, the tiles will get smaller and smaller, and slowly you can actually, I'm going to reverse most of those things that I just did. No, they don't change. I'm definitely going to put that up to 1,000, because what I've found is you have trouble with the movement of NPCs when you make it too tight. Okay, actually I'm going to go back in, but I wanted to show you how you can affect the if you had a small little animal moving around your nav mesh area, cell size, we'll put that up to 50. Right. So, or whatever number it was, I can't remember now. Anyway, so let's hope my experiment still works. What I should be able to do is grab that NPC, drop them into there, and then once I hit play, not moving. So we look at the commands and say, what have we done wrong, right? And no, that's all spot on. So what I'm going to do is delete my nav mesh bounds, and I'm going to restart and don't save. Like I said, that's why I have my restart up there. If you do something that you don't like, it might fix it. If you can restart, it's like 101 of computer repairs. Turn it on and off. Okay, I don't know if that's fixed the problem, but I'm going to drop my so I'm going to drop a new nav mesh into there. To nav mesh bounds, and quickly make it for. I've left that letter on, and that'll tell you as you're working it what area. It's better they can't go through the wall, so I'm not thinking about that area anyway. So if that was the rough area, and I've got up to there, then what happens if I drop my NPC in? They should just run around like a maniac. Yeah, see? So that shows you if I stuffed up my nav mesh settings and it made it actually too restrictive and tight for the person to be able to go to. If you do something like that, that's why I believe don't panic. Have that restart button right up the top there, and in the end, look, hopefully you haven't done too much work. Just hit restart. Don't save. And it fixed the problem, right? Reverted it back to what it was. So that is an NPC now. Who that NPC is, it doesn't matter, right? What I was going to do was make, obviously, so that now, okay, we've got the Goldie. Let's go up and right click that and duplicate it, and it automatically chooses number 2. So I'm going to go to there, and because I've copied and pasted that one, it's got all the NPC commands in it. So I'm going to go to my mesh and go to viewport, and we've done alright, I thought I had done some transfers, I haven't yet. Okay, so there's our first NPC, working lovely. Over into Daz, and that's what I didn't say because I hit restart. See, so sometimes it does cost you a little bit, but no, I fixed that problem. So that was okay, and I'm going to hit escape again, accept again, and then I'm going to hit accept again. And I'm going to have to make her a third-person player. What that's taught me is the #1 lesson. After you do each little function on an Unreal project, if it's successful, save then. Because I've had to repeat all this because I obviously did half a dozen things before I changed my nav mesh, and I've lost all those things. See? And it's affected the nav mesh a little bit. So I'll work on that. Okay, so Elaine's in again. Remember, content, characters, mannequin, animations. Go to Manny and retarget, duplicate. Go to the G8. Pick your character, Elaine Page. I give it a prefix so I know where it is. I'm going to put it back in the Daz to Elaine. See, that's also shown, you know, that if you make a big stuff up with the character and you don't like it, you don't want it in there, very easy to get rid of it, right? So animations, and then, oh, we've done that, right? So now I'll be able to go back to my NPC and change that to Elaine. Bang, there's Elaine. And change it to Manny, compile, save. If we go back to our characters, sorry, if we go back to our Daz to Unreal, no, what did I make it, third person, and our blueprints, I can now grab our little NPC2, drop her in there. Actually, the other thing I like to do with these ones, because they are an NPC, is I get rid of the follow and the camera boom, right? We don't need it as much, they're just running around. And I also like to go into the character movement and slow them down from the stupid running that they always seem to be doing. So about 180 is a nice walk. So I'll drop, so young lady's in there, I go push play, and we've got Quinn acting as an NPC, and now we've got our daz8 character acting as an NPC, and you've just seen her neck hunch. So when she goes into an area where the nav mesh is not working properly, which is something I'm going to sort out a little bit. I think it's more because I stuffed up that nav mesh settings, right? So it's something to be very careful about. Anyway, there's the Quinn working, there's a daz8 figure working. Okay, what's the next thing? Let's go and go to Quixel Bridge. I've got a good idea, alright? I'll just say it in a minute. I'm going to go to a... Alright, I've worked out how to fix that problem. So, let's drop down this bloke. Okay, we'll bring him in. And this one here, what this symbol is, this is me. Through using face gen, Daz, and then into Unreal, I have been learning how to take a picture, bring it in, make it a person, and then have the face made as a morph, and then transfer to a Metahuman. That's actually me as a Metahuman, but you have to work on adding the textures and the skin, and that's a little bit harder, so I'm not quite through there. So we enable all them. I like to make sure that the textures have finished. Pardon me. Yeah, so if I go into that one and then go into the Start MHC, that's my bone structure, and just to muck about with it, looks a bit like the Ukrainian president actually. Anyway, hitting restart, it wants me to save the lady I put in, so I won't have to do her again finally. That's, so like I was saying, important mistake is to remember to, each time one import is successful, then save. Okay, so we can finish with that. And I was going to, yeah, so we've got the Metahuman in now, so we can go to our content, go to our Metahumans, go to Emo, and the render. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is change the LOD down to 1 because it is too high for our systems, well, most times. Okay, then we need to go up to go to our class settings, change that to third person character. Okay, once that's kicked in, we grab the body and we drag it over onto our mesh, and then we go down and we delete the root. Then we go up to our mesh, we type viz, and we make Queen invisible, and then we make tick pose and refresh bones so that the motions are always going continuously to them. We go down here to live retarget and we hit use live retarget mode. Getting rid of that there, we go down to our default values and use live retarget mode. And then going back to the body, hit both these default value properties. When we go to there, we should be looking at a young bloke. Now, the only problem is, okay, now because I've fixed the arms, no, see we've got that. When that happens, okay, when we hit save, go to target, and we have to replace the mesh to this target here. Hit compile, save, and we've still got problems, so we'll go get that one. That one wants you to put this little thing called get skeletal mesh asset, and then we rejoin that one up to there, and we delete that, and there'll be another one, so we compile, save, and grab that one, and then the same thing goes, we come out of there and we go get skeletal mesh asset, and then we join it up to the ones that it was joined to, which is there and there, and then we can delete that one, and then we hit compile and save, and looking good. Okay, alright, very nice. So then we go in to the event graph. Actually, we go up to the body, go up to here, and no, we don't need to do that. Actually, what we can do is go to there. Right. So they're a third-person character. Let's go back to our third-person blueprints. Go to say this NPC 1. What we're going to do, first of all, we're going to copy all this. Control C. Then go to Inno and go to another place. So plan for up there. Go here, Control V. Alright. Put that in there. We're going to have to go to up to variables and put walking, because it needed to be in there, and that will match. We hit compile and save. That should be good. Right. Also go back to the NPC 1, and we're going to have to, we're going to do some other things actually. What we're going to do is we're going to move that over, and we're going to copy all of this, Control C, in the back of the NPC 1, right, in the event graph. And we're going to go over to here, go up to where this is, near here in the back of the Metahuman. Control V, bring that all down. Get rid of that little custom event there, and then bring those two up, and bring it to there, and then join those up. I mean, compile and save, and with a bit of luck. Okay, let's grab our Metahuman. So could have actually what if I duplicate? I'm going to try something I like to do. Right, number 3. Let's go into them. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. Right. So not with the Metahuman, right? So going back to there, well, I'll leave that for another person. What we do is, okay, we're finished. That's all lovely. So we can close off that, close off the NPC, go back to your contents, go back to your Metahumans, go back to the folder, grab the person. We drop them in, and I don't know if hang on, I want to just, of course, get rid of something that we don't need, is the follow camera and the boom. It doesn't allow you to because it thinks of the third person. So even if we went into its blueprint and tried to get rid of their follow camera, oh yeah, it does, camera boom. Okay, so we've got rid of there, compile and save, and that's got it rid of from, hang on, Control Z, Control Z. That got it rid of from the third person character, which I don't want to do. So what we could do, it's not really, anyway, it just annoys me the fact that the person's, when I work a lot in it like this. Anyway, enough of that, pressing play. Alright, so I've left him running. Alright, so there's your Metahuman running around as an NPC, there's a Daz character running around as an NPC, and there is Quinn running around as an NPC. They're all working independent of each other. Now, the only last one that I could sort of like think about is if we, I did not mean to open up Character Creator 4 actually, I meant to open up Iclone 8. And so if I wanted to, then what I would do is I have a folder which is from Iclone, from the website. So actually I'll just close them off. And now once I've got Iclone 8 open, right, I'm going to save all on this one as well because I've done a little bit of work. I don't want it to end. So that's Iclone 8 open. The other thing I was going to do was, okay, I'm going to close off that file with the Daz8 character, and I'm going to open it up and get a Daz3 character and a Daz9 character, as well as a CC4 character. Right? So I can basically close Character Creator 4 again. Sorry, that will save resources, and hopefully, if I go down to here, yep, Iclone 8 is opening up, as it's inclined to do if you give it enough time. Now, one of the most important things I want to show you to do, okay, go back to your third-person character, and if you want to build your own character, right, lower this down. I personally use Snippet, right? SNIMP, and I grab my snipping tool off Windows. It looks like that. And you go over here and you go to New, and you grab that, okay? And there's a beautiful picture of the input mapping. And I save that as a screenshot in a folder called Blueprints. So, I mean, you learn it and give it a name. So it's adding input mapping, because I want to build my own character, and I want to build my own third-person character using people that won't work with the normal system. If you have that, you can basically start to understand the motion of the system, because that's the commands for the cameras to come in. That's your movement inputs. It's all really this is the new advanced input action AI move, where it's got a lot more options. I'm going to do a complete tutorial on how to use all these, because it completely changes everything we've done in Unreal Engine. So Daz is going to take 3 hours to load. So what I've got is Iclone 8 open, and I'm just going to load in a basic character. So I'll go into my actors and into character, and I'm going to grab, well, to make it more about Iclone, I will just grab the normal girl that we normally always use, Little Miss Pretty, which is, they call her Claude. We'll get Miss Lovely in her Camilla, I'm talking about. So, to get Iclone working, I'll show you in 2 seconds. I'm not going to go through every process of how to link Unreal to Daz to Iclone. It should be something, if you're working with, you get to very quickly. So in the plugins, you've got up to here, and your character creator, and it's get the tools for Unreal, get the tools for, you know, and that will take you through the process. So I'm just going to grab her through, and with following all those links, I've got a folder now. And what I always do is go to third person map and just go back to show in Explorer. It'll take you back, and what you do is go back to the initial folder, right, through till you see the blue marker. Then I grab my auto content, right, the auto setup for 5.1, which I got off, Control C on both of them, and copy, right click and paste. With them in there, I go up to my settings, wrong one, got to my settings and my plugins, and then I go down to Reallusion. Went too far. Sorry, I go to Reallusion, tick that, that'll activate both. Then we can restart again. She's all set up for. So we've got Daz8, we've got the normal Manny 5, we've got Metahuman working as NPCs. Alright, so let's check. Alright, come on everybody. have a move, right, thank you. Alright, so everybody's still going fine with that. We've activated this, HiQ shaders, apply, and where are you? Okay, so we've got this young lady, and we're going to see the slowest transfer of them all, alright, which is Iclone and Camilla. Alright, so we just need her. So what helps in your transfer or any workings, go down to your minimal settings. It reduces all the stress off Iclone and your character, and you don't need to look at it. Same as if you're having any problems with here, you go to your scalability and you change it. Hit auto will tell the computer works out. Right? So I've obviously got a cinematic computer, but if you, sorry, I've got an epic quality computer. But if you had a brilliant computer, you'd actually be cinematic, which is the next level up. I'm not there yet. You can change it to that if you want, but it'll start to break up and give you more problems. If you're having problems, then just simply change your scalabilities down to high, medium, or low, and it will get better. You can watch the most complicated Unreal Engine project on any computer if you set it to low. Right? They always work. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I should have did this talking while I hit the magic button of going there, and hit transfer file. So that sends the young lady over into. Now, while that's happening, I have got Daz open, and I'm just going to quickly load in a G9 character. All right, so where are we? G9. Okay, let's just set a basic character. Angela. Okay. Okay, so now that Camilla's in, we can go back to our content, back to our, actually let's try something, third person character. We'll go to blueprints, and the NPC 3, because you were number 2, I believe, yep, 2. Okay, so NPC 3, go down, grab the mesh, go to there, gonna grab Camilla. And I don't think she works already, does she? Camilla, and then I can grab Quinn. No. Alright, so let's quickly put that into that sort of area. Let's grab that. Let's go to content and characters, mannequins, animations, and Quinn, retarget, duplication. We will grab UE Manny 2. No. We're going from Manny down to a 4, right? Because that's what she basically is, a 4. So we've got Manny here, and then we shall pick. And I'll give her a CC prefix, so we can see it's her. We can change, put her into a folder that she comes from, which is Camilla, hit OK, and go retarget. And we have her doing everything, right? So with that in mind, we can go back to here and go back to there and hit CC Queen, and she's in position. Then we can hit save, go to there, and go back to content, third person, blueprints. There she is, young lady. Push play. Oh. And everybody's walking around. And Manny's walking around, right? Right, so that's a Metahuman NPC. There's a character creator NPC. There's Quinn walking around as an NPC. There's a Daz8 character walking around as an NPC. Final one, or at the moment, Angela 9. We go file, up to send, down Daz to Unreal, Angela all good, don't need any morphs, and gonna hit accept, and then gonna hit accept. Now, she should come through pretty quickly. That's the difference. You could go make yourself a cup of coffee and a toasted sandwich while Iclone transfers a person of about 3/4 quality of Daz, right, over into Unreal Engine, and yet by the time I finish this conversation she'll be over. Well, not quite, but a bit of a difference. See? Okay, hit OK, minimize down to there. Content, oh well, when she actually lands into here. Now, one other important thing is, as well, like I was saying about the blueprints, is to go up to one of the NPCs when I can. I mean, I've done it, and what it allows you to do is this. Okay? But I mean, you can learn 1,000 things. Okay, but you don't remember everything every day, but you know how to do it in 2 seconds. What happens is, as soon as I start with the eventing, I remember all this and it comes back to me. But to make it perfect, each time that I get a night, that's my walk. That's a walk run script for anyone, right? For any, that's an NPC script for anyone. And so I've got a bunch of these pictures and folders that, you know, like here's another one that is, you know, first to third camera. Right, how to change so that you've got 2 different cameras on the person. When you get it right, then, you know, take a picture. Okay, so we're in our characters, and then we'll go to mannequins, and then we'll go to animations. We'll go to Mani, right click, retarget, duplication. This time we're going to choose the G9 targeter, and we're going to choose our lovely Angela, and I'll give her a DD prefix. Double Daz, change that to where she came from, which was Angela, into OK, into retarget, and with a bit of luck, there's Angela doing everything. So then we can go up to our NPC, sorry, we go, pardon moi, go back to our contents, go to our third person, go to our blueprints, right click, duplication, number 4, let's go into NPC number 4, go to our mesh, and change that to Angela. And then change the animation print to double D, and then we'll have a view, and she's looking good. So compile and save, and we can then drop Angela in on the scene. And we push play, and there you have it, my friends. We have Daz8 NPC, we have CC4 NPC, we have Metahuman NPC, and we have Genesis 9 NPC, all working happily together in a community. The only people missing, woohoo, is you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, how dare you, my friend, how dare you go bustering past. Because the lovely thing that I want to show you is with your NPCs, remember in your character movement that you can choose the speeds. So give everybody a different walk or speed, and you know, they'll look a little bit more individual. Thank you, this is part 1. The next I will do part 2, where I will make a separate new map and show you how to make the nav meshes have a lot more control, and we'll also add in different points so that you can have a person, say, walk between left A and that corner and just almost do like parades, marches, or if you just like sentry guards. And that'll be the next tutorial I do on this. I hope it's explained basically how to set up NPCs. Like I said, it's all about taking a picture of that, right? And understanding that that is the area that we play with. This will determine the distance they walk. This will determine how often they walk. So, and that's really what it comes down to, as well as we'll add a few more things in the next tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much. And it was a lovely subscriber's question. I can't remember your name right now, but thank you very much. I was saying I will make a tutorial to understand NPCs, and I hope this has helped you understand. If there's any more questions, please let me know. Like I said, part 2 will be more about the nav mesh and more about controlling where the NPCs walk and what they do. Thank you.